Hello, 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 hello. Happy Monday, and happy International Women's Day globally. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, I didn't connect my mic. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Gems of Life show. Happy Monday and happy International Women's Day to all our global listeners tuning in to Love Bay Afrobeat Music Talk Radio. No. Okay. Stop. Hello and happy Monday to our global listeners. Welcome to the Gems of Life show. I am your host, Fadhwa Yusuf. We are live in studio, Love Bay Afrobeat Music Talk Radio. Happy Monday. Yes, happy Monday. And you know what? It's a special day as well. You know why? We just celebrated International Women's Day. So to all the women globally, I greet you in peace and I say happy International Women's Day. Wow, wow, wow. I'm just really, really excited to share. You know, we brought in amazing, phenomenal women about 2 weeks ago, right here on Love Bay and the Gems of Life show. And we had this amazing, phenomenal women share, this amazing event that was coming up March 8th, which happens to be International Women's Day. And guess what? Yes, it was a blast. It was epic. We showed up, just women, fabulous women, phenomenal women showed up, dressed up, and we had so much fun. But we had an amazing time connecting with each other, and thank you to all the ladies who showed up, just put in some time in the evening. Some showed up with their daughters. Isn't that amazing? Yes, yes. Like we had generations of women coming in and supporting each other. And I just had a blast meeting each one of you who showed up. I just want to say thank you to all the phenomenal women who organized this event, who made this event happen, and to all the amazing speakers who showed up. Call out to Josephine Maffey, Queen Renee from Atlanta, and we had panelists like myself and who showed up, and some who were not able to show up, but we had an amazing, lady who was there, a leader who was there, Phoebe. Shout out to you as well for, showing up last minute and just stepping up, right? Stepping up and stepping into the space and sharing your wisdom and knowledge and gems as well. And the amazing MC, Queen Amina. Oh my God, that was fabulous. So I just want to say thank you to everybody who showed up, who showed up and spoke and shared the gems and shared the wisdom, to all the sponsors, to all the vendors. I had the opportunity to be a vendor as well. And I brought my books there, Going the Distance, No Past Left Behind. And guess what? It was a just beautiful, beautiful experience. Tons and tons of women who came in and supported me and got the books not just for themselves but for their daughters and their sisters and their mothers and their sons and friend. It was just amazing. It was amazing. And thank you to Queen Amina, who actually supported 7 women and actually got 7 books from me. Going the Distance, No Past Left Behind. 7 of those books went up to those women to support them in their journey. So thank you, Queen Amina, for supporting me and supporting these women. So Jumping right into today's show, we just gotta get in, right? Get in into the mid source of this and get into the show. I just want to come back to one area that, the conversations that I had with women, some of the women this past Saturday, it was that, the being stuck, moving forward in your life. And as I shared my story from a very empowered place. Vulnerability is key when you're sharing your story, but you're sharing from a place where you have healed. And I was able to do that. And a lot of women came in and, literally just hugged me and said, thank you for sharing your story. And thank you for letting us know that in your story is our story. And they were sharing their own story. And some were sharing the stories of being stuck and getting unstuck. And some will find that, some of their family members, friends, people they knew in the community who were still struggling, right? How do you move forward? When do you know? How do you know it's time? When do you know it's time to move forward? Because getting stuck is not a fun place to be. I mean, really, getting stuck is not a fun place to be. And I know what that looks like. I've been stuck in different parts of my lives. And when I say lives, is literally it feels like I've lived so many different lives. It does feel like it. Oh my goodness, right? When you talk about relationship, that's one life there. When you talk about parenting, that's one life there. When you talk about singlehood, that's life there. One life there, right? When you talk about single parent, that looks like, that's a whole lifetime because a whole different experience, right? And when you're talking about divorce, oh my God, that's a whole different life. It's a whole different experience. So I feel like I've lived many lives, to be honest with you, because I look at my life and I'm thinking, oh my goodness. But I made it, right? And I'm here and I'm here. And that's the message that I think a lot of people resonated with. Your experiences, your past experiences, your troubles, your challenges, the obstacles, the trauma, the mental health, the depression. We go through all that, but in the end, we come through it. And when we keep that faith, knowing that despite what I'm going through this moment, despite feeling like I'm just beneath everything that I've ever experienced, like just being just at the bottom, right? We keep the faith that I will get through it. I will get through it. And when we hold on to that faith, no matter what, even when we don't have answers, it makes a huge difference. It gives us, the faith to move forward. The reason I don't like to use hope is, to me, I prefer to use faith. Faith, it gives me, it shows that it brings confidence that there's something. I'm going to find answers along the way, even though I don't. Hope, I'm putting it to the wish. It's like, I wish one day I'll come out of it. I wish, hope and wish are two words that I actually don't use because I'm putting it out there and I'm hoping it works out. But I don't want to do that when it comes to my life. I don't want to put my life out there and hope it's gonna pan out. It's gonna work out. A wish is gonna work out. I am not putting my life on the line for wish or hope, but I'm willing to put my life on the line with faith that I'm confident things will work out. That's faith. It gives you the courage to move forward in life. It gives you the courage and strength, to move forward in life. It's the building muscles of resilience. Faith is the building muscles of resilience. That's how I see it. And from my own experience and from the experiences I've seen with the clients that I've worked with. So when we go back to looking at, oh my God, what's holding me back, right? And how do I move forward? How do I get unstuck? I mean, if that's something you're experiencing, I would love to hear from you. Okay. I would love to hear from you. This is the show today is a pre-recorded show. So it's not a live call, a live show. You're not able to call me directly today. It's Ramadan, so I'm pre-recording this. What I want to do is, and you'll be like, Ramadan, yeah, we are fasting. And the time that we're opening our fast is the same time that my radio show comes up on Love Bay. At 7 o'clock, it's a live show every Monday on Love Bay Afrobeat Music Talk Radio. And 7 o'clock, I'm preparing to open my fast, right? And when I come in at 7, we open our fast at 7:20. that's the time that I want to really spend time and commit myself to, open my first with my family and embracing the prayers and all that, right? So I don't want that interrupted. That's why I'm pre-recording this today. All right. So what I invite you to do is, if any of these messages resonate with you, please send in a message, respond, reach out to me. If you have not followed me yet, I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, and it's Fadhwa_Yusuf. Fadhwa_Yusuf. Reach out, send me a message. If there's an area that you would like more support in, I'd love to support you. Okay. Yes, follow Love Bay Afrobeat Music Talk Radio and the Gems of Life show as well. Okay. Now, let's go back to what's holding you back. Are you aware you're being held back? Are you aware that you're stuck in your life and you're not moving? Your life is just the way it was a year ago, 6 months ago, 5 years ago. Things are not moving. Do you notice that? And the question now is, what are you willing to do? When we find ourselves that we're not moving in the direction that we want, or we're not getting the results in our lives that we want, the outcomes that we want, not what we wish for, okay, what we hope for, no, what we want. What is it that I want in my life? And is this space that I'm in creating the outcomes and the results that I want? Right? And this is where we want to understand. And if it's not, then what's holding me back from living the life that I envision for myself, getting the outcomes and the results that I want for my life? What is holding me back? What's keeping me stuck? So this is an area that we're going to be looking at and exploring a little bit further. And I'll be sharing some tips that you can use starting today to get yourself unstuck. Okay. So what are the areas that you're stuck in? Look at your life, analyze it, reflect on it. What are the areas you are mostly, when you look at it, you're like, this is the direction in my life that is not moving forward. Or it could be your relationship. It's not fulfilling, right? You're in a relationship, maybe it's not fulfilling. You don't feel growing in that relationship. Then it doesn't mean that you want to get out of it. It just means you're stagnant. You're not growing as a couple, right? So what are the things that you want to do to rejuvenate that relationship so that you can feel the fulfillment, you can feel the energy back, you can feel the love, you can feel the joy, you can feel this energy that, oh my God, this is exciting place to be. I mean, if you're in a relationship, you want to be excited about it, right? You want to be excited about your partner. If we're not excited about our partner, and our life together and our relationship together, then we need to reevaluate, right? And see, what are the things that I'm doing that's not creating those outcomes? And what are the things that I can start doing to create those outcomes? Because I did it before. We did it before. That's why we were together. That's why we connected, right? But life took over, right? Priorities took over, maybe children, maybe work, whatever the case may be. We want to come back now and see and reevaluate and say, you know what? Why am I stuck here? Why are we stagnant in our relationship? I want my relationship. I'm in love with my partner, right? But this area in our life is we're just stuck. The romance is dead. The chemistry is gone. The communication is out the work, right? So what is it that we want to do, So I want to invite you to come back to that. And if that's an area that you want to prioritize, then let's look into that. Maybe it's your health, right? Maybe you had a goal coming, go back to January 1st. When we talk about New Year's resolution, a lot of people, myself included, we've fall into that trick, right? Where you set up New Year's resolution, but we have no intention of completely following through it because it's a resolution, and resolution doesn't get us far, right? We want to be intentional with what we want to do and the outcomes we want to create. So let's revisit that. Let's reevaluate that. Where are you at? We are in March. We're entering the second week of March, okay, officially. Where are you at? Where are you at with your resolution, with your intention, with your goals when it comes to your health? Do you find yourself stuck in there? Do you find like nothing is moving forward? Nothing is progressing. You're not growing in terms of the goals that you set up. You're not getting the outcomes that you set up for your health. Let's reevaluate that. All right. Now, it could be maybe your professional life, your career, right? I mean, how many of us get stuck in a profession that we are not happy? Oh my goodness. I remember, without naming any organization, I used to sit at my desk and I'll be sitting there and I'm thinking, what am I doing here? And I had a couple of colleagues there with me who I felt safe that I could share what I felt with them. And I said, I have no idea what I'm doing here. I just feel stuck here. I feel like I'm not growing. I feel like I'm not using my skills, my experience, my expertise. I feel like I'm in a shell, in a cocoon, and I'm not being utilized. And I'm not also utilizing my experience, my expertise, and I'm not growing. This is an environment, not only am I not using my experience and expertise and skills, but I'm also not growing in this environment, right? So I felt stuck. It can be very disempowering, and this is one of the areas that you lose morale, you lose confidence, and you just come in and you're just there for a paycheck. And I didn't want to be there just for a paycheck. But guess what? We get comfortable, right? And sometimes, especially in our personal or professional life, one of the reasons we get stuck is we get comfortable. We don't want to, we're not ready to make that change. We get uncomfortable with the idea of change. Even though we know where we're at, we're not growing. It's actually, we're doing a disservice to ourselves. So let's look at, it could be your financial. So it could be your personal life, your professional lives. Look at your financial. Are you growing your financial, wealth, your landscape of financial? Let's look at that, Or maybe you're single and you're stuck in moving forward. You're stuck in the past of being hurt. Maybe somebody betrayed you. Yeah, somebody betrayed you, cheated on you. Maybe it's the fear that you don't want to have your heart broken again. You don't want to be betrayed again. You don't want to get hurt. You're protecting your heart, right? From that pain, you're protecting yourself. And maybe you went through a very, very traumatic relationship, abusive relationship, mentally, physically, emotionally, financially. And you're holding yourself now. You got out of it. Now you're scared to open your heart again because of that experience, right? So let's explore all this, because you know why I'm saying this? I truly believe when we are in that state of being stuck and we're not moving, not only are we doing disservice to ourselves, we are actually killing a part of us every single day. A part of us dies. Yeah. Yeah. So for me, when I go back to 2017, I call it my year of reawakening. Yes, 2017, my year of reawakening. And the reason I call that a year of reawakening is because I didn't know how stuck I was. I didn't know how I had stopped living. I was just existing. There's a difference, eh? Yeah, there's a difference between existing and living. Existing is you're on a survival mode. You're just a robot. You're just going through life. And living is you're thriving. You're very present with yourself and very present with everything that's happening. You're so attuned to yourself and your surrounding. You're thriving, you're growing, you're transforming, you're accelerated in a space where your energy flows in a very positive way. Okay, you are alive. You're not just alive, but you literally, your emotions are alive, your mind is alive, your body is alive. You're in an awakened state. When you are living, you're in an awakened state. When you're existing, it's like you're sleepwalking through life. And that was me. That was me. In 2017, that's when I recognized it. I was like, I don't even know how I got here. How did I get here? When did I lose me? When did I lose Fadhwa? How did I lose Fadhwa? Where is Fadhwa? When was the last time I had Fadhwa? Laughter. Oh my goodness. Yes, this infectious laughter. When it was the last time I saw myself smiling and full of life? really awakened and living my life fully. I couldn't remember. I couldn't remember. So there is this part in us that dies slowly. And when we're just existing, that's what happens, right? Until something happens that snaps you out of it. And that's exactly what happened for me in 2017. Something happened that snapped me and woke me up and shook me up and said, wake up, right? And it was that moment listening to that voice and pursuing and following through that voice and saying, oh no, I need to find that Fadhwa. I need to find that Fadhwa. I want to be connected to that Fadhwa. In that moment, I didn't realize there's a higher version of Fadhwa. In that moment, I was holding on to the Fadhwa that I knew, that I once knew, right? Because in that moment, that's what I wanted. I wanted to feel the sense of aliveness. I didn't know my journey will bring me where I am today. I didn't know that Fadhwa had to go through that to be able to be where she is today. So I am here today. And I'm so grateful to that Fadhwa. And I'm so kind and compassionate and loving to her and saying, thank you. Thank you for that experience, because I get to tell that story. I get to share that story with others. I get to be able to connect with others through your experience. We talk about many lives. Yes, right? We live through so many different experiences. It feels like somebody else was living that life until we step out and you realize, wow, yes, that was me. And yet I am here today. So one of the things that I said, being stuck is being uncomfortable, right? One of the reasons we get stuck is being uncomfortable. And sometimes we're so scared to move forward, not realizing that this stage in our life, this phase in our life, we've actually outgrown it. When we find ourselves being stuck, it's because we're holding on to familiarity, right? Not realizing that we've actually outgrown this experience. It's time for a higher version to step out of this so that we can move forward. And every experience shapes that, right? So the signs that you want to look at when you're stuck and when you're finding yourself, you've actually outgrown this phase in your life is one, is recognizing that you feel this, you have this sense of drained. You're just drained. You're just like blah. When you say like you have that fogginess, yeah, that fogginess, like you can't think straight, you can't see straight, you can't think straight, you can't feel, you're just there, right? And you just feel exhaustion, this drain, like you have no energy left. That's one sign. Okay. So this is where you feel like your whole self is being depleted. You're going on empty gas, basically. Like think about your car, right? You're driving your car and it goes on empty. It's gonna stop. And that's exactly what our body, our mind, our emotions, everything, when we are so depleted and we get to that place where we're just stuck and we have no energy to move forward, it means that we are depleted in every sense. Our mind is locked, our emotions are drained, our body physically, we are done. We are just there. This is the part where we're just existing, right? There is no way you would feel this when you are fully awakened and living. You will not feel this sense of depletion, okay? This is where we're running empty completely. Like you have nothing to give because you've given and given and given, and you started losing a part of you every time. Every single day a part of you dies, and you reach a point where there's nothing left, and you're just there. And I'm telling you, I'm just thinking about this, it's like, yeah, it's exhausting, where you are at a state in your life where there's nothing to give. I mean, I've been there. And you've given everything you had in you, and now you're depleted. And when you have nothing to give anybody, that's at the lowest point, because what do you have to come back to? You have nothing for yourself left, let alone for somebody else. right? So you have this sense of complete emotional, mentally drained, completely drained and depleted. Okay. So that's one area. The second area is, oh, you're looking into when you know you're actually stuck and you've outgrown that phase in your life, is when you're ever experience this sense of just you're not progressing. You're just there. Nothing new, no information is coming, no knowledge is coming on your way, no information, no growth. You're just there. You feel demotivated, right? There's no motivation, lack of motivation. You recognize that your energy, like you're just energy. We've moved from being depleted, but now you have just no sense of purpose, no sense of vision. Like you're just there, no sense of vision, no sense of purpose, no sense of goals, no motivation, no growth in every essence. No growth in every essence. You are where you are 5 years ago. There's been no progress. Okay? 5 years ago, 3 years ago, 10 years ago, mentally, emotionally, physically, financially, socially, like in every aspect of your life, career-wise, your personal and professional life. I invite you to actually analyze that and pay attention to it. Like there's no progress. You just wake up every morning and you do the same thing every single day. Yeah, it's predictable. Basically, your life has become predictable. Okay, your kids know, your family know, your friends know. You just become predictable. Like your schedule to a T. There's no change, no room for change, no room for growth. Okay. Yes, a lot of us are really struggling when we are in that state. That's one phase. And that's a phase when we pay attention and bring awareness to it. That's a great place to actually reevaluate our life and actually take on the next step. All right. So I'll share with you what you can do. But this is just bringing this to your attention. Okay. The other one is, I don't know if you've experienced resenting what once brought you joy. So resentment, do you feel resentment? So let's say, oh, the topic of relationship or love. Oh my goodness. And you're resenting, just getting into the relationship. You're like, me? No, I'm canceling that out. You're not even thinking about it, right? So it could be something, as simple, but as significant as that. Resenting what brought you joy. Maybe it's a memory. It's held on to you're holding on to a memory. So maybe you love gardening, but that gardening, brought you a lot of joy and sense of peace. But then it's associated with something that brought a lot of pain. Now you're resenting that experience. You've let go of the gardening. Why? Because when you do gardening, it brings a lot of painful memories. So now you're resenting that what once brought you joy and peace. So think about if, just reflect on what brought you joy, what brought you peace, what brought you happiness that you no longer pursue, that you have resented doing and you've stopped doing it because it keeps you stuck. It keeps you stuck. Reading is one thing, right? Dancing, music. I mean, I remember years ago, I could never listen to a particular song. And this was either in English or my tradition, because that song was attached to somebody in my past. And it was very peaceful, brought joy, a lot of happiness and love. And then because of that relationship was completely, gone, and it was very painful, that song brought a lot of pain. So even though I loved it and I associated that song with it, with different individuals because it brought a lot of joy and happiness in my life, I resented that song, right? Which I loved. So this is what I want to bring your attention to. There are things that we do that we enjoy loving and listening to or doing, but then because we associate it with a painful experience, now we've prevented us ourselves from actually experiencing that joy, because we attach joy and happiness with other people, not realizing that joy and happiness and peace and love is within us, no matter what. Nobody takes that away from us. No one has that power, right? But what happens is we give away that power. So a great way to come out of that and getting yourself unstuck from that is actually recognizing that, hold on, peace, love, joy, happiness is within me. It's not attached to anybody else. So if they're not in my life, doesn't mean they took this from me, because then it means I've given them me. They own me. That's what happens. But when we come back and change the narrative and say, you know what, no, hold on. No. Yes, that was a painful experience. I got hurt, and I'm going to validate the pain. But there's lessons also that I can take away. What did I learn? What was that part of my life teaching me that I was not aware, right? I mean, I can go back and I can look at my life then, now, and be like, wow, there's so much learning that I didn't know about myself that I've learned today, just looking back, right? So there's wisdom in it. But in terms of peace and love and energy, this beautiful, happy, joy energy, it's mine. It belongs to me. And I take that power back, right? So to get unstuck from that and remove the resentment is basically what we are doing is we're not resenting that experience. We're not resenting that individual. We are actually resenting ourselves. That's what we're doing. So anytime there's resentment, it's not towards an individual or a past experience. It's actually we are resenting ourselves from experiencing the joy, the love, the peace, the happiness that's within us. All right. Okay. So how do we go from understanding now we are getting stuck, we are stuck, we are uncomfortable with this, where we are at, and we are not growing, we are being depleted. What's the cause then? What keeps us there? What keeps us stuck? What keeps us from moving forward? What keeps us from growth? I'll tell you. One of the things that I recognize for myself, and it's one of the things that I've come to understand, it's my parts. It has to do everything to do with the different parts that you still hold to this day. Okay. So if you have not had a chance to get my book, I invite you to get this copy, Going the Distance, No Paths Left Behind. And when I talk about parts, I talk about the different parts of different stories or narratives of your experiences that have shaped who you are, right? We talk about your mindset, we talk about your emotional well-being and the emotions that are triggered, right? So when you're reactivated, the emotions are activated. You're either in a reactive state or you are in a responsive state. So when you're a reactive state, fear comes up, right? Shame comes up, guilt comes up, right? Sadness comes up when you are reactivated. Those are parts. So a fear, sad is a part, sadness is a part, fear is a part. So these are all different emotions. Shame is a part, guilt is a part, right? And then we have the mindset, the beliefs that we hold. These are different parts, the narratives that we have held, right? The memories that are still stuck in our mind and in our body. So when I talk about fear, it's the fear of the unknown. And one of the things we as humans, we are wired to know. We are wired to know where we're headed. We are wired to know the answers. That's just who we are. We are just simply wired that way. We want to know where we're going. So what happens is when we are in this phase of being stuck, the most probably one of the reasons that keeps us there, if we have the awareness and we are conscious about it, because it's one thing not to have the awareness and we are not conscious, because then we are stuck with the parts, right? Then we are unconscious. We're not doing it, by choice. It's the parts that are holding us there. We don't have the consciousness. You can't do anything when you're asleep, right? You're asleep. But when you're conscious and you are in an awakened state and you have the awareness, then you're able to recognize, oh, hold on, yeah, I am stuck in this space. I'm not growing. Now here is where you can actually recognize what's holding you, right? And oftentimes it's the fear of unknown. It's the fear of uncertainty, right? The fear of unknown is a part. The fear of uncertainty is a part, and I call them the gatekeepers. They want to keep us safe. One of the things that, as we are wired to feel, not just to know where we're going, but we are wired to know we are safe. That's we talk about basic need, our fundamental need, emotional, psychological, mental, all this, the need to feel safe. So not only where I'm going, I need to know where I'm going, I need to know I'm safe. So this is a need. And if we have a void in terms when it comes to safety, and there's a void and it's missing, and there's a gap, right? And there's a memory attached to not being safe, guess what? The gatekeeper will keep us there and will say, you are safe here. It's better you stay here, because going out of here, stepping out of here, it's unsafe. And we don't know where we're going. So we have no idea where we're going. It's uncertain. Where we're going is going to be safe for us. So we're going to keep you safe. So the fear of unknown, that part is the gatekeeper. It will keep us safe. Yeah. So understanding, and it's multi-layers, right? This is a whole different conversation, understanding where the roots and source of fear comes through. But one of my fear was, of course, connected to uncertainty, right? We are wired that way. And because when I looked at the source of this fear, what is it trying to keep me safe from? Is actually asking ourselves, what is this part trying to protect me from? It's keeping me safe here, right? Okay. Recognizing that this is a very old part. Remember, I talked about many lives. Yeah, this is back in my childhood experiences. Something happened that I created this sense of being unsafe, and this part stood up, protected me, and kept me safe. But that was my younger part, my younger self. But here I am as an adult. How can I change that narrative without disempowering that part, without invalidating that experience, right? So recognizing that there's fear exists, fear of unknown exists, but this fear is keeping me safe. So getting ourselves out of being stuck is recognizing, number one, yeah, I have fear, but what is the fear? And this gatekeeper, what is it trying to keep me safe from? What is it trying to protect me from? Oh, it's trying to keep me safe from being a failure. Oh, maybe it's trying to protect me from being seen. I don't like the idea of being seen, right? And remember, what we seek is what we try to fill in. It's our void. So our void seeks us as we seek our void. So whatever it is that you have answers with, when you sit there and reflect with it, what is this gatekeeper trying to keep me away from, right? Oh, it's the attention. Maybe there's a part that doesn't want the attention. Maybe there's a part that wanted attention that didn't get the attention, right? That's trying to keep safe because it's not certain where you're taking it. So just fear. So ask yourself, what is the fear of the unknown? What is that's keeping you stuck? And this gatekeeper, the fear of unknown, what is it trying to keep you safe from? What is it trying to protect you? Because its role is to protect you. So ask yourself that. Okay. I'm looking at my notes here so I don't forget. So how do we do this now? Quick exercise for you, keeping track of my time. Quick exercise for you is to actually, number one, bring attention to where you are in your life. Okay. So just, where am I in my life? Look at one area in your life that you feel, that you believe that you're not progressing, that you're not moving forward, that you're not creating the outcomes and the results that you want for yourself. It's not wishful thinking. It's not hopeful thinking. No. So what is it that I want in my life? And am I producing? Am I getting the outcomes? Am I doing the things that are creating the outcomes that I want? If not, if I'm not growing in any aspects of my life, pick one that's really important to you that you want to prioritize. And if that area in your life is not growing, then if you want to ask yourself, what's keeping me? Because you already have the awareness, which is fantastic because it's great. You can work from there. You already one step, right? There are those who are driven, aware of it. So you already have the awareness. So ask yourself, what is it that is keeping me? This fear, what is the fear first? And then what is it trying to protect me from? Because the role of the fear is protecting you something. It's a gatekeeper. What is it trying to keep you away from? Because it wants you to stay safe. Okay. The next thing you want to ask yourself, is this the first time I have experienced this? Is this the first time I've experienced this? Yeah, chances are it goes way back, way back, right? So recognize that. And the next step now is once you recognize, then you realize, oh, so this is not new to me. So this is something very familiar to me. So now I'm familiar with this fear. And then now recognizing that, oh, it does not belong to me, the adult self. It actually belongs to an older, younger part of me. It belongs to a younger part of me that goes way back, right? So recognizing that, it separates you from that because now you're able to make a decision and say, okay, this is a part that's still showing up. It's sitting on the driver's seat when I should be the one on the driver's seat. So now you want to take control because what happens is when we are stuck, we are not in control. Something else is in control, right? So to move away from being stuck and to grow and evolve, we want to be on the driver's seat. We want to take control of the driver's seat, right? So now recognizing and look at that younger part and say, okay, validating the experience. I understand this fear. I understand this is the experience, and I want to be here for you. I also want you to know that I am now older, wiser, with knowledge, and I know with certainty where we're going. It's epic. It's phenomenal. And I'm going to help you understand that. So it's you reassuring that younger part that where you're taking it, it's safe because it needs to know it's safe. But before you do that, it needs to know that it's safe with you. Yes. This younger part needs to know it's safe with you first. And the only way to do that is to establish that safety is to recognize its experience, to validate the experience, to acknowledge the experience, and to hold that space for it and understand it, right? Once you do that, that power kind of just loses itself. The younger part now understands, oh, okay. Oh, I don't need to be in control now. No, you don't need to be in control. Let me take care of it. You're safe with me. And where we're going, I'll make sure I look after you. You just stay in the back, enjoy the ride. Let me drive. Isn't that amazing when we do that? I am telling you, I promise you, the moment you start doing that, things start to shift. Things start to shift. You find yourself more in control, and you find yourself getting yourself out of this haze of stuckness, right? And the moment you do that, you cannot undo that experience. You will be in a very awakened state of self, of consciousness, to a point where you'll be like, oh my goodness, where am I? Because it will be unrecognizable where you're heading, right? It's something that you would never have thought possible, but it's there. Because everything that you are meant to be is already here. It's just waiting for you to step into it, right? That's the thing. Like this, just like it's like multiverse, right? You're here because you're here. But the moment you move yourself from this space, you realize, oh my God, there's so many things that I can experience. There's so many opportunities, so many possibilities that were available here for me. But because we are in a protected phase, I don't even, we say stuck, but we are kept there, and we are kept there safe. We don't see everything else, And when you get out, you're like, oh my goodness, this was always available to me. Yes. Then you realize the information you're seeking seeks you. The knowledge you're seeking seeks you. The people you're seeking will be seeking you. Everything that you have within you will be in perfect alignment with what you seek, and it will be right there. All right. So think about any aspect of your life that you want to sit down and reflect upon, and then work with that part, find out what the fear is about, communicate with it, validate the experience, create that safe space for it to be validated, acknowledge it, create a safe space for that part to know that where you're heading and where you're taking it, it's safe, And the moment you do that, you're also creating safety between the two of you. It needs to be confident that you can take care of this. Because what happens is, up to now, when we find ourselves we are stuck, this young part is not confident in our capacity to take over. Oftentimes, that's the case. Oftentimes, it's because it believes that we are not competent yet. We are not confident yet. We are not ready yet. So it's up to us to show it that we are competent, we are confident, we got it, okay? And we are on the driver's seat because we know we are capable. We already know we are adults. We have, gone through life experiences. We have expertise in so many different things. We have the experience and skills. We know we are capable. But this young part doesn't recognize that because we have not shown it. We have not communicated with it. So we want to be able to do that and establish the relationship with that fear part, right? So that this part will know that, oh, I'm confident that you'll take over. So it can sit in the back seat and you get to take control of your life and drive change and drive growth. Okay? So look at the area in your life, prioritize it, and then work with the steps. So what will be some of the things that I want to invite you to when you do this? So we understood what the challenge is, what keeps you stuck. The reason it keeps you stuck is the uncomfortable of change, right? Unfamiliarity. So you don't want to step into the unknown. But we know it's not you. It's the younger part. It's the fear part. It's the younger part. Whatever name you have for it, you will discover through reflection. Take a moment, take 10, 20 minutes, 30 minutes to reflect upon this. If you need to pause, please do, and then come back. Okay? So we often talk about, as you're moving forward and you're creating these spaces for growth, one needs courage, right? And I always say courage, it does not mean it's the absence of fear. Oftentimes we think, when we're taking a courageous step and we're taking a courageous move, fear is not in the equation. But that's the opposite of what I've experienced. Courage means that you're taking the next step despite fear, despite uncertainty, despite having all the answers. You don't need to have all the answers. You don't need to know the how. You don't need to know where you're headed. Just take that one step. To me, that's a courageous step, right? Taking that next step despite the fear, despite knowing that you don't have all the answers, despite knowing where you're headed, you clear to you. To me, that's a courageous step. So courage is not in the absence of fear. Courage is taking that step that within your heart, that you have faith that something positive will come up. That's it. Just believe. It's the pure belief that what I'm doing, even though I don't know how I'm going to get, the answers or where I'm headed, I know that in my heart, what I'm doing is the right thing. It's the belief that what you're doing is the right thing for you. It's the right thing for you. And when you make that decision, it's a game changer. When I moved back here in 2019, I left, right? 2017, I left, I moved, I've shared this story many times. And I moved to Somaliland in Africa. And then I came back in 2019. And in 2019, when I came back, of course, jobless, homeless, penniless, right? Because I left everything. I let go everything. That was a courageous step. Was fear absent? Absolutely no. Because I was thinking, what are you going to do? You're letting everything and you're going. I didn't have any answers. I just had faith and I believed what I was doing was right for me, right? And when you do that, sometimes when you make that decision and you take that step, everybody else will be against you. They will not support. That's when you know you're doing the right, you're doing right by you. Yeah, because you're doing something that will shock everybody. Yeah. You're getting yourself outside the box. This is courage. You're getting yourself outside the box. Getting unstuck is going to require you to make uncomfortable choices and decisions. That's courage. Courage is making uncomfortable decisions, making uncomfortable choices, taking uncomfortable steps. That to me is courage, despite fear. So when I came back in 2019, I'm staying at a family, basement space there, and I'm using beautiful space with my two kids. And I'm thinking, what's next for me now? I'm awakened. I want something more. I had this hunger for more. I wanted to do something with my life. And you know what? I recognized that the knowledge that I had, the experience that I had, was enough to get me where I was. And I knew if I didn't take the next step in gaining new information, I would get stuck where I was with the information that I had. I knew that because I'd seen something different. I experienced something different. I knew there was more to me and there was more to life that I had experienced. And I was hungry for it. I was hungry for change. I was hungry for growth. I didn't know it would lead me where I am today. No clue, no clue at all. But I knew one thing for certain. The information I knew and the knowledge that I had and the experience that I had was not enough to get me to the next level, to take me to the next step. And I didn't want to go back. I didn't want to get stuck. So what did I do? I went out seeking information. What is it that I don't know that I need to know? What is new information that I don't have that I need to gather? What are the new gems that I need to pick that I have not uncovered yet? Oof. And that's the first time I was introduced to personal development. I didn't know this life existed, this world existed. I did not know personal development world existed. It was the first time. What you seek, seeks you too. I was seeking for new information, but this information was always readily available to me. Can you imagine? I was like, I didn't know this existed. Where was I all my life? Where was this information all my life? But timing is everything, right? It's when you're ready to receive the information, that's when you'll be open to it. I wasn't ready to receive because I was not open to it. I was in a different world. So here I am introduced to personal development world. And guess what? I meet this man who says you need to invest thousands of dollars so that you can get into this program and invest in yourself and make a decision. Don't worry about the how, make the decision, and that's it. And I'm thinking, this guy's crazy. All this money? I don't have that money. What am I going to? I'm looking for a job. I don't have a job. This money is enough to buy me a car. This money is enough to furnish my entire place with my kids. It's enough to pay a couple of months' rent. What is this man talking about? See how limited my mind was. Scarcity mindset. I didn't believe that I could actually do it. I was questioning everything he was doing until I said to myself, you know what? I'm going to give myself permission to explore this. And he said, just make a decision. I said, yes, you're right. I'm going to make a decision. I've made a decision in 2017 and it worked out really well for me. It was uncomfortable, but I made a decision and I took a bold step forward, a courageous step forward. And I was on a self-rescue mission in 2017. And here I was in 2019 doing the same. I was about to make a bold decision, not knowing that it will take me on a different path, not knowing it will ever change my life. I just took a risk. So a courageous decision requires one to take a bold risk. Yes, yes. And that's what I did. And I invested in a program. I said yes to it when I didn't even have a job. I said yes to it. I didn't have a penny in my account at the time. I said yes to it. I didn't even have a home for my kids. Yet I believed it was the right thing to do for me. It was the right thing. I didn't share it with anybody apart from one person because I was so scared that if I shared, everybody would do everything they could to discourage me because they didn't understand. Nobody understands your life, only you. Only you. So the decision you're going to make, it has to be right by you. because no one else, you're not living anybody else's life. You are living in your life. No one else is. So when you make a decision, you're doing it for you. And that's exactly what I did. I made the decision. I said yes. I didn't worry about the how because it's not my job to worry about the how. And guess what? 5 months later, not only had I moved with my kids to a new place, I had a job, paid off for the program. 5 months later. And it opened up a whole world. It opened up my mind. It opened up my imagination, my creativity. And it opened up and led me to one door, from one door to another, to where I am today. So what I'm saying is, when you're making that decision, when you're making that bold decision, it's going to require you to take a risk. It's going to require you to go on a self-rescue mission. It's going to require you to take that courageous step despite the fear, despite the uncertainty, despite the answers, despite knowing how or where. You just do it and believe that you're doing it right by you. All right? So I truly hope you were able to pick some nuggets and gems from this. Okay? So here's what I want to invite you to do. Okay? I want you to sit down and take a note and say, change is scary. Write that down. Change is scary. Yes, change is scary. But I choose to stay open. I choose to stay open. I choose to be curious. I choose to stay open. I choose to be curious. Yes. I choose to take a courageous step. I choose to take a courageous step despite fear. And I choose to do right by me. Yes. And I choose to do right by me. And that's all you have to do. Because you're worthy, you're deserving of it. You're worthy of the change, you're deserving of the change. You're worthy of creating a life that you want for yourself. You're worthy of living a life of fulfillment, of joy, of peace, of happiness. However you envision it to be. You're worthy of it and you're deserving of it. All right? So that's something I want to leave you with today. So here is something that I want to share with you. I know change can be scary, and sometimes going on a path alone feels even scary, right? Because you feel like, and it will, when you're going through this process of change and growth, believe me, there's so many times that I actually felt so alone in it. So alone in it. And it doesn't have to be that way for you. All right. So I want to invite you. I want to invite you to connect with me. Connect with me on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on Instagram, because I will be creating a community coming together. So follow me there and I'll share more updates so how we can come together and share the gems together and grow together, because I don't want anybody going through this alone. No more. No more. Change is scary, but you don't have to do alone. You don't have to do it alone. You don't have to be alone doing this. And I want to make sure that I'm there with you every step of the way. Okay? I know you can do it. Of course you can. I'm confident in you, and I'm confident in your ability to do so. So do follow me, Fadhwa_Yusuf on LinkedIn, on Facebook. Go to Fadhwa Yusuf on Facebook. Find me on Facebook. Send me a message. You find me on LinkedIn, send me a message. Add me and send me a message. Go to Instagram, add me and send me a message so I know that you are here with me. And just type in, you say, I am not alone. I know Fadhwa has me on the journey with me. Or however you want to word it. I'm not alone. Fadhwa is with me. I know God is with you, but Fadhwa is going to help me be there every step of the way, show up every step of the way. I'm there with you. Okay? So amazing things are coming your way. Believe me, amazing things are coming your way. It's just Ramadan right now. I'm working on a few things. So I'm going to wait after Ramadan and we're going to kick off great, great stuff. I'll be announcing them shortly. in the next coming episodes. I just want to say thank you so much. If this episode stirred your soul, okay, I would love for you to connect and share with others as well. So follow me on Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook. Share this gem with others, somebody that you think will benefit, will benefit. And on Love Bay Afrobeat Music Talk Radio, follow Love Bay as well on Instagram, on LinkedIn, and on Facebook as well. Send us a message. If you have any questions regarding this episode, connect with me, please. I would love to hear back from you. If there's a gem or two that really resonated with you, please send me a message. Okay? I would love to connect with you. So thank you so much. I want to make sure that we are all in this space that we can actually honor each other. So I want to say thank you. I appreciate you. I honor you. And I'm truly, truly grateful for you showing up every week, listening into the Gems of Life, listening to the Gems of Life show. Till then, be well, stay well, connect with me, please. I would love, love, love to hear from you, and know that you're not alone in this journey. Change is scary, but you can do it. You can do it. You can do it. Yes, you can. All right. Till then, take care, and we'll talk soon. Bye-bye. This is Fadhwa signing out. Bye. Okay, stop, stop, stop. There we go.